Marching into the Black Wolf's tactical heart of Castrum's Sentry with one of his own Magitech Reapers, itching to crack the skull of every man that caught my eye. That will have been among the least interesting things to happen this week. As I finished my training with Curious Gorge, Sid had determined that the core of the Magitech Reaper's servo mechanism would have to be replaced, and that the only feasible replacement would be a mammoth heart. That impossible feat of Ul'dan clockworking, which can grant some kind of self-motivation to an automaton. Wedge believed that he could make it compatible with our servo mechanism, and our only barrier was now a ridiculous sum of gil to make to the Goldsmiths Guild. I had half a mind to just walk in and take one, and let us saving the damn world save us payment enough for those vapid artisans, but it turned out that young Master Leveilleur had anticipated my stubbornness and thrown his name around the guild for my credit. Apparently he is a benefactor of unrivaled repute. He apparently told Serendipity that his manservant would collect it. His manservant. Methys Masher, bane of primals and dragons, captain of the immortal flames, manservant to a noble brat. Alfino has a strong mind and a pure heart, but one day that ego will cripple him. The mammoth heart fitted well enough and our Reaper responded. It ran well in our first tests, but Wedge thought that for the heart to properly respond we would have to make it feel welcome. In my experience, the only thing that can rouse a sleeping heart is the thrill of battle. And it so happened that the Castrum dogs had noticed their missing toy. A searching squad caught us in the field, and their Centurion recognized our faces too late to flee. Sid's jammer isolated the bastards from any hope of reinforcements, and it was the delightful spectacle of breaking bones that pulled from our new Magitech friend something, I swear, like a laugh. And with that, we were fully operational and as ready as we could ever be.
You have spirit, that I will allow. Yet you struggle to the benefit of none, least of all yourself. You would have saved yourself a great deal of torment had you accepted our aid from the beginning. Tell me everything, and I shall end it quickly. Refuse, and though you beg for death, you shall not have it.
With the prisoners in sight, I could think of no good reason not to go loud. We fell upon their guards and released Midfilia, Tataru, Urianger and Papalimo from their binds before an alert could spread throughout the stronghold. Thancred was not here. Thankfully my friends were as hungry for blood as I. Their captors had hardly dented their spirits. We had not a moment to waste. We could not leave by the same method we came. And there was an Ascian here, I could feel him, and I knew that he would soon be upon us. The best chance we had of smashing our way through the vanguard was preemptively and with enough noise and violence to make our enemies flinch and hesitate. And so I flew into the courtyard laughing, spitting and bellowing only the worst Rotano curses my mother had taught me. Ida and Y'shtola too thought this opportunity too good to resist. Having smuggled themselves onto the Phantom train, they caught a moment alone with the Tribunus, no doubt hoping that a moment would be all they needed to repay the debt. It was wishful thinking, but I couldn't begrudge them for wanting to join the party. For a few grueling minutes, all was chaos. Wedge took the Reaper for a lap. I stood firm before Tataru and Minfilia, collecting ears and smashing shield generators, and we met with our backs to the steep gorge of the Tangle, with the entire garrison steadily closing in. Of all circumstances that could have covered our escape, it was the Reaper, driven to some independent altruistic rage that held the attention of the bastards long enough for Sid to arrive as Sid only knows how. And as we soared away, there it was, the fully operational Ultima weapon, a breath away from closing on us, and Laha Breya casting off his hood and mask for a sickening parting gift.
Sacred!
We have to go now!
Sacred! No!
Small wonder the enemy knew our every move, and where to find us! Confound it all! No, this is not the time for self-doubt. The Alliance leaders staked their hopes on the Scions, but now they believe us all dead or missing. When they learn of the Empire's new weapon, we cannot be certain what they will do. We must go and offer them what assurances we can that defeat is not inevitable.
I am ready. Let us pay a visit to the Council of the Alliance leadership.
Though it is bittersweet, we prevailed without a single casualty. And with this momentum, we must rescue the Alliance leaders from doubts and despair. When the spectacle of the Howling Eye failed to immediately stun us into folding, Baelsar evidently delivered a more formal ultimatum to each of our Grand Company allies. Trade our liberty for security in the shadow of the Ultima weapon, condemning the beast tribes to unconditional genocide, or be crushed beneath its unstoppable fist.
But if this weapon of theirs can do all they
Still abandoned by the Holy See of Ishgard, the Admiral, the General, and the Elder Seedseer were convening in Uldar, slowly circling the drain while they still thought the Black Wolf untouchable and the Scions decimated.
Alas, they are gone, and the Black Wolf is at our door.
Admiral! I fear you are mistaken.
Even as we barged into the fragrant chamber, we could hear the tunes of compromise and surrender echoing down the hall. And I could feel the weight of their fear, doubt, and fatigue stewing about us. We made certain to shame them for it.
Hear me, my friends. Accepting the Garleans' offer to vanquish the Primals would be folly. Folly, I say. For might is not the answer to the primal threat. Indeed, the more the Empire exerts its strength, the worse matters will become. Primals enter this world when mortals call upon them, and mortals are wont to appeal to a higher power when they are desperate. Nothing is more certain to breed desperation in the beast tribes than the Garleans' proposed solution.
Remember 5 years ago when you wagered all for the sake of the realm? Remember what you fought for, what you were willing to die for. Let the memories rekindle the fire in your heart, for Eorzea has need of it again.
Come what may, we Scions will never give up the fight. And so I bid you stand with us, and together we shall safeguard the future of the realm.
A great man once said that a shrewd merchant grasps not for the quick profit, but invests in the future. Wise words, eh, Rauban?
Sid,
Your words stir and shame me in equal measure. How could I contemplate surrender
I wish that I had a voice that could so cross such dark ravines, but I am but a man of action, and so I was glad to have Minfilia and Alphino to so passionately coerce our floundering friends. They burned Baelsar's ultimatum, joyfully, and with it every shred of discomposure, turning reason to smoke and laughing the mad laugh of warriors. Baelsar will have been expecting resistance, but he will never expect the preemptive and gleeful crash of a hammer on the door of every castrum in the realm, the sudden siege of his supply trains, and the isolation of each of his officers all at once and without a breath of warning. He will not have a chance to mobilize the ultimate weapon beyond his own front door before answering to me. There is one doubt and desperate hope left to me, the ultimate fate of Thancred. He was a cheerful and stalwart ally through my days as a green adventurer in Thanalan, and I cannot condemn him to die. It was in the overconfidence of Minfilia and Alphino, sending him to investigate the Ascians alone, that he was taken by La Habrea. Minfilia has procured from our allies of Baldessian an artificial crystal of darkness. She believes that La Habrea will have used one such crystal in order to secure his possession of Thancred, and that another might hold the key to banishing the Ascian without killing our friend. When the time comes, I will do all that I can. As if to consolidate and justify her confidence, Minfilia told me that I struck the same figure to her as the Warriors of Light, whom had cast down Nael Van Darnus and together with Louisoix Le Veilleur saved the realm from certain destruction at Cartano 5 years past. I care not for lofty titles or merit, but I think it was to still her own fears that she made the comparison. I can understand that for the antecedent, sometimes faith is all she has. I've accepted the role that Hydaelyn has pressed upon me, and although I will never believe that I was fated or conceived to perform any certain function, I will die before I let Minfilia's faith in me fail her. Let her call me the Warrior of Light, then. If this belief can keep anyone laughing and fighting, it is noble enough a fantasy for me to allow them. All that matters to me right now is my first mark, and the first phase of Operation Archon, upon which the outcome of this battle will firmly rely. Perfectus Ritaten Sas Arvina seems to me as admirable and noble as a turncoat can be, so I will give him a chance for a noble death in my assault on Cape Westwind, which shall serve as the spark to ignite the sieges on Castrums Marinum, Oriens, and Sentry, isolating Castrum Meridianum long enough for me to pierce the heart of the wolf. We have roused the Grand Companies, the pirates of Limsa Laminsa, the private armies of the Monetarists, and countless free companies across the realm, each ready to finally dive upon the 14th Legion. I do not know how the Scions managed to infect the whole of Eorzea with my own madness, but I do know for certain that tomorrow we go to war.